I woke up with a headache. Yes. Maybe it's because of my lack of coffee, or maybe it's just because I slept way too much. I usually sleep 8 hours, and today I slept like 10. But it's okay. I will take an Advil or something, and then I should be fine by lunchtime, and that's when we see each other again. It's lunchtime, finally. I'm lazy AF, so I would just cook the rest of the pasta that I made yesterday. And then I have some of my Asian vegetables. It's probably like a cup. And just saute them in a little bit of olive oil or coconut oil or butter, whatever you prefer. And then I would just sprinkle some soy sauce because I have it and nobody can stop me to use it, and just have my lunch. And by the way, I put water in this bowl and probably a handful of the black beans because tomorrow I'm trying to make a burger. Well, it's just black bean, probably oats. And this afternoon I will make some sandwich buns. It's probably just gonna be one sandwich bun, but I will make one this afternoon and I will show you my recipe. But for now, let's have some lunch. Voila. I am so excited to have my pasta, which is a pretty big portion actually. And yeah, let's try it actually. It's really good. Kind of salty. I put too much salt, but it's okay. So I will see you later for my bread recipe. And then I have to decide what to eat for dinner. I actually thought to write down my entire week because I think I have enough food, but if I don't plan it, I don't know, I feel kind of all over the place. And I love to plan everything ahead. So maybe I'll do that, maybe I don't. We'll see. But for now, I'm just gonna enjoy my food and then I don't know what to do actually. Relax and then we'll make some bread together. It's afternoon and I would love to have a coffee, but I cannot because I don't have enough coffee. But as I mentioned before, my plan for tomorrow will be to make a black bean burger, and for that, you obviously need some sort of bread. Usually, you would use a hamburger bun, but it takes so much time and so much ingredients just to make the bread that I I'm not living for it. And yes, I'm wearing a face mask. Even though I don't even think it changes anything, but it makes me kind of feel good, and that's what I need right now. And so for this simple bread, I will only use 100 grams of my 700 grams of flour. And even though I know it's a waste of electricity, I know that I will still just make a small batch so I have enough for the rest of the week. So for this recipe, you will need following ingredients: 100 grams of all-purpose flour, 1 tablespoon of olive oil, 1 pinch of salt, and here is probably a third cup of warm water, not hot, and just a tiny little bit of yeast. You can take fresh yeast, that's the one I use, or dry yeast, whatever you prefer. In the yeast water, you put a pinch of sugar, just a tiny little bit. Now we can start with mixing the yeast and the water mixture, and then pouring the olive oil And this has to rest for about 5 minutes. And it's very important not to mix salt and yeast together because they will destroy the rising procedure. So here we have water, a tiny little bit of olive oil, a little bit of sugar, and that's it. And this has to rest now, and then you will see the yeast and the water combine together, makes these little bubbles, and that's when you know the yeast is ready. Our yeast mixture looks perfect. Now we are ready to make the dough, which is just put the flour on a clean surface, then make a little hole like this. Then you take the salt and sprinkle all over flour. By using a fork, you just put a little bit of the water and then you just incorporate it in the flour like this. Just make sure that, see, that's what we want to avoid, this little thing, but it's okay. It gets messy, so I usually use my kitchen machine, but it's in the dishwasher, so I'm just gonna use my hand, which is also very easy. Well, it's not really easy, but we can make it. The amount of water depends on like the flour and your environment, so it's really hard to say how much water you need, but you will realize, like, once you knead the dough, you will see if it's enough, if you need more flour or less flour. So you will see once we start using our hands. Let's start kneading. You just go with your hands. I mean, there's like no particular way to do it. At the beginning, everything will be like really sticky and probably very annoying, but it will change once you knead it really, really good. And if you think it's too sticky, you can always put a little bit more flour, which is my case. Tiny little bit. There we go. Perfect. What the hell is in here? I don't even know. Whatever. So this is our bread. Right now it has to rest for at least 1 hour. So I'm just gonna grab this pot because it was like thing I had the closest. Just put a little bit of flour, just a tiny little bit. And then you put your ball and just swirl it around. Then cover it and just leave it for at least 1 hour. After 1 hour, your dough should look like this. So now we have to knead it. Just place some flour on your counter and just take out the dough. That's perfect. Take everything out of your pot. And now just knead it for a couple of seconds. There you go. This has to rest for another, I would say, 15 minutes. And in the meantime, you can preheat the oven to 240 degrees Celsius, which is around 480 degrees Fahrenheit. Ta-da! Our bread is ready. Before even thinking about trying it, it has to cool down for at least, let's say, half an hour. After that, we can give it a taste test. But it looks pretty good, actually. Oh, I love when the bottom looks like this. Yummy. That was my bread recipe. It wasn't even that difficult. I don't know why people always tend to buy stuff, even though it's so easy to make it from scratch, especially bread and I hear a lot of pizza dough people prefer to buy it, but it's so easy to make. It's just flour, yeast, salt, and water. I mean, the olive oil, it's my option. I love to put olive oil on my doughs, but it's not even essential. I think for dinner, I'm just gonna have half of this bread with some olive oil, like dipping in olive oil or maybe some butter and some salt on top. And the rest of it, I will need it for tomorrow's burger. I think half of it should be enough. So I would just relax a little bit and clean up my kitchen, and then I will see you at dinner time. I did not clean up the kitchen. Sue me. I'm ready to try this bread. Let's just cut it and see how it looks inside. It smells delicious. So I'm just gonna have a tiny little bit of olive oil, and I put some salt in it and just I dip the bread, and that's it for my dinner. As I'm sitting here enjoying my food, I want to talk about a very serious topic. This world is full of racism, hate, poverty. It's so crazy. And the fact that some people have to be scared for their lives just because their skin is not white is unbelievable. It's so crazy. I mean, who gives someone the right to treat someone differently just because their skin color is different? I mean, I just don't understand. And I really wish and I really hope that everyone is safe, and for those people that lost their life will be justice, even though their relatives will never get the chance to even talk to them or hug them. It's pretty hard, but I hope they will have the justice they needed, because right now this world is just crazy. So I hope everyone is safe, no matter who you are, no matter how your skin color is. Just be safe, and yeah, a big hug goes to all those people that lost a loved one for no reason. I will just finish my food, and then I will watch a movie, and tomorrow I will be back at home, so the videos won't be as long as the last three or the last two. It will just have to be quickly because I don't have so much time for preparing my food, but I will still show you my daily diet tomorrow. But for now, I wish you a very good night and see you tomorrow.